Welcome back, guys. The Crypt Keeper is back. So in this episode, I want to focus on what kind of information I'm looking at to determine a good entry price on longer term holds. After we look at the charts, we're going to take a look at some news. Let's get it started. All right, so Bitcoin on the 1 hour. Past 10 hours, we're getting a lot of deviation on our bars here. Saw this form out likely on a 1 day with a nice little candle. However, you do have a wide spread on our total price readout here, giving us a nice good range with some downside from 17,009 to 19,005. So we're beginning to see this total price readout giving us averages as low as 17,900. We're just above the mark on profitability, over 50% at 51%. We have a breakout potential for the downside, but we have a nice green candle with very, very extreme volatility, some price gappage. Looking at the day chart, this is leading me to believe that based on our quartiles here, our deviations and strength are matching and running really, really weak right now. So on the 1 hour, if we're looking for a short-term play, it looks like there's anything left of the tank to hit 20K. The sooner the better we get into the juicier prices, the sooner we can get out of this mess, I believe. But all our metrics are telling us that 20,000 is the top, and then you're looking for some heavy selling off, and as low as, I think that total price, the TPO's on the mark at 17,900, and that's actually what we called on this show a few weeks ago. See synchronicity weighing really heavy to the upside right now, so it's not going to take much to tip this scale. On our BBWP, strength coming in heavy, really nice to see, but it took a lot. So it could be that we're exhausting some bullishness right here. We see our fans spreading out, our triplets and our volatility really, looking bad. So this is long-term, our midterm bearish, but that actually plays out to our scenario where I think we're going to have a strong return on the market in early 2023. So for the immediate term, again, in a couple of days, I think highest we're going to get is 20,000. I do think it's a possibility that we touch 20,000, in fact, but then we're definitely going to bounce off down on that. And we could possibly be ranging between 17,900 and 19,100 for the next week. Solana. Breakout potential happening right now in Solana on the 5 minute, on the short term. On our 1 hour, see that forming out, but we've got some confluence building up, and based on our BBWP and our quartile readout, our deviations are weighing really weak. We don't have a lot of upside for the medium term, as in the 4 hour, 1 hour, and 4 hour. But short term, very short term, as we saw on the 5 minute, and we're seeing here on the 1 hour, we see a lot of upside on the synchronicity on buys. Bottom just spread really thin here. Our profitability at over 2% at 52%. So that gives me some room to breathe if I'm looking at quartile deviation. On our current bar, we're only in the first quartile on volume, and we've seen some peaks at 90th percentiles in the previous 10 hours. So this bar could push us back above $30, looking at 39. Our total price readout is giving us a top right now at $30.76. Bottom being $30.36. I think our AI is going to spread a little wider if we can get into the second or third quartile on this bar to end this hour off, in which case our breakout probability will probably flip to the upside, and then you'll have that'll stretch us out to the $30.90 mark. If we can run a little bit longer on the bullishness, then we could get back into the $31.20 range on this resistance line here, being the top at $31.50. And then we will begin to likely trend and form a new initial balance around the $30, the low end of the $30 mark at $30.12. So this looks like our next 5-day trend based on the BBWP, the 5-day BBWP, between $31.50 and $30.15. Veracity, everything had a nice little V-shape rally there off the CPI report today. Total price readout and veracity giving us a little bit of a spread at 0.0038. Bottom side 0.0382. Upside 0.0387. And if we're looking at behavior, we're forming out a 1 here. So we definitely have a bounce back once we touch down on the Elliott. We have some bearish divergence forming out. So we'll see how our synchronicity weighs out, but really weak trading activity on veracity. So nice to see some price action and some volatility spreading out a little bit. Okay, Terra Classic. So while USDC is pumping, Terra Classic's running sideways. We hit my time frame that I've been looking for about a handful of days late, but we're in it now on our downward channel. We're trying to keep this 28 mark, the 0.0028 mark. We have a breakdown at 45% to the downside. However, our past 10 bars on our 10-hour quartile, our current bar is at within the first quartile. So this is just forming out. And we are at the top of the hour. We had some previous 90th percentiles coming in on the past 10 hours. So we could stretch up above this support here at 28.5. And if you're looking for maybe some swing trade off of the USDC pump, depending on when that ends, if it ends in immediate form and LUNC can keep some bullishness, you could see some of that USDC flow into Luna Classic, and we could possibly touch 3 again, re-entering this speed fan from the previous week. But right now, we're in the lower third of it. So if we can get into the middle third, it's possible we touch the top of this trend here, running up on Luna Classic, and come down for some more. And depending on what's in the cards for Luna Classic coming up, and if we do have some more bearishness ahead, you know, we're looking at touching down on this 23 mark in the next week. But again, next 2 days, within today or tomorrow, we're going to continue to challenge this 28 mark. We can probably break into this middle diagonal on the speed fan and touch the top of this trend at 3. But we're likely to come back down if we don't get any more news on development from Luna Classic, or we could see more Luna Classic pouring into the USDC pump. However, in the next week or two, I do believe that we're going to continue to try and challenge this 23 mark until we get more juicy opportunity to bounce back. But future is bright for Luna Classic and USDC. Okay, Injective. So Injective and Synthetics been doing that song and dance that we mentioned here. So while in Synthetics it's been green, Injective goes red. Right now, Synthetics is green, Injective is red. Don't base your trades on that. That's just a little bit of a metaphorical view on this. But we have seen some lot of expanding bottoms on Injective. It could be some initial hype cool off happening, but no doubt Injective is a great Synthetics play on protocol. I'm even getting some wind of rumor on Cannabis Synthetics possibly entering into the market, but we shall see. That's just a rumor. And so we had some strong activity required to push us up here on Injective. Now we're going sideways. We have a breakout, immediate breakout to the downside opportunity, 51%. So if we can get some more, see how all these past 10 bars here on Injective been pretty high, but no 90th percentiles. So currently we're in a third quartile in our current volume bar, but that's for the downside. You see some extreme volatility, but all weighing to the upside for synchronicity on buy. So overall, our profitability giving us a midterm downside trend forming out. And I see some bearishness and divergence happening. Our total price had already formed out and not giving us much of a spread. So I'd be looking for on Injective in the next day hitting a new initial balance at around $1.63 and bouncing around in this channel here, a really tight channel at $1.67 at a downside $1.61, and right in the middle about $1.63 ish or $1.64. So hopefully we bounce off the top of this channel. But based on the metrics and the quartiles and our standard deviation right here across the past 90 days, and I see a trend on expanding bottoms when we do touch down. So yeah, I think we have some more correction ahead for injective. Synthetics, again, nice V-shaped recovery, hitting the top side of our strength. However, downside, giving us a strong breakout opportunity to the downside on 53%. Profitability looking up though for 54%. Really strong activity overall on synthetics protocol. So really the volatility pretty even. So when it tips to the buy side, we see what happens here. But this is more indicative, I think, of the total market sentiment, and the whole market's pumping. So we do see a lot of 90th percentiles, but this is showing you some confidence, right? When the market pumps, it'll pick confident coins. So yeah, it looks like there's confidence still in synthetics. So short term for synthetics, we could possibly stretch out this interval on the upside to, again, to touch $2.20, and then downside hit our support bottom at $2.01 or $2.10. Serum. So Serum, while MNGO protocol got exploited for over $100 million, Serum hasn't seen much activity. So you might be wanting to look at some other DeFi opportunities in the Solana ecosystem. One of them could possibly be Cropper Finance. But profitability, you know, still weighing to the upside overall for Serum. In the next 2 days, I do expect to build into this pressure here. High side being 72 cents, bottom side immediately being 71 cents. Our total price readout is not giving us much of a spread, even less than that, at 71 cents and 72 cents. Top side of our strength here, our synchronicity indicator, giving us a heavy way to the upside on buys. Since the market is just pumping anyway, we're looking at our quartile deviation, and based on our quartile deviation, we have a possibility when we hit the top of this, when we point into this fish head here on the pressure, we're going to continue to break down for Serum. Serum's been pretty strong, moving sideways overall, and it's been really tough to actually read what's happening on Serum, and that could possibly be because nothing much is really happening. It's just working sideways, and it actually broke out of the channel here. But you see our channel that we formed out before we touched down into it on this show, and built into it really nicely. So the bottom side being 72 cents, top side 80 cents. I think that 80 cents is not in the cards for the next week or two. If we do break out of this pressure and come down to the downside, extreme downside is the previous support at 63 cents. Upside of this channel, based on the metrics and our deviation, since this could be quite possibly unfound territory here for Serum, upside of this channel, top side of this channel is 68 cents and 72 cents. So we're likely to form an initial balance around this mid mark at 68 cents and have a new range here for a little bit until the DeFi market overall can come back. MNGO. So if you traded MNGO, we saw a nice pump up on the bounce back off the news of the exploit. Overall though, not necessary to be in the MNGO market right now on trades, unless you just like messing around on Radium like I do. Looks like a lot of other traders are swinging MNGO right now, like apes. But trending along this bottom side here, up towards 25 cents again. And at the tip of this pressure here, we could come back out of it really, really strong, based on the if there's any kind of good news or resolution to what's happened with the exploiter, who are in talks with the MNGO team, supposedly. However, most likely when we tip off here, based on behavior, yeah, looks like we peaked for the short term, and we hit a lot of 90th percentiles just recently. So our current bar, second quartile. So based on our deviations with our strength in the right in the middle, and you know, CR synchronicity weighing to the sell, and profitability giving us a strong markup though. Yesterday it was at 90% profitability to the upside. So this is clearly swinging. If you're going to continue to swing trade MNGO, could be a good idea for the next day or so, but you're probably not going to see much price change as we were seeing the previous 2 days. Okay, so DXY still at $1.12. Talked about a potential strategy to look at how to look at DXY and maybe give you a longer term view or macro view on what's happening with the market or economic market or with the economy overall. But yep, we touched the top of this trend that we drew out quite a while ago, and based on historical trend here, we could pop back above this and get a red candle in the next month, and this could be resolved within the next few months. So I'm not sure how many people are looking at this, but this is just one speculative way to get a read on the total market using the DXY. You can see here previous marks above the 110 mark where we currently are now, and it's been very few times in history. Definitely making our mark right now. So if I'm looking at buying into something like Bitcoin and I want to know without having to read or time bottoms or tops, just want to get a good entry and know that I'm near where price could be not so devastating if it continues to go down. Ideally, you want to get the bottom, but also ideally you want to get it as low as possible. And so this is one of those ways that I believe is a good way to find that lowest possible mark of entry. So right now, price at 19,400. So I'd be looking at exchange flows and exchange reserve. And I think one of the interesting trades right now is Ethereum at $1,200. So if we look at exchange reserve on Ethereum, Ethereum's all-time low exchange reserve on all exchanges, the amount of supply of Ethereum on all exchanges, its all-time low was on September 8th of this year at 21.8 million ETH in exchanges. And the price at that time was 1.7 thousand. So 1,719 about. You see it here. Today, we're at 21.9 ETH on all exchanges, and the price is $1,292 or 1.3K. That's really interesting because this is an all-time low here for amount of ETH on exchanges, and we're about to touch that. We're pretty much right there at the all-time low right now, and price is at $1,200 rather than $17. So if you're looking for some kind of information to give you an idea of a potential reversal on price, which will help you maximize your return on investment, your ROI, I think these are good ways to get signs on good entries. Because if exchange amount continues to go down while price continues to go down and be this low, which is really reasonable, though we see Ethereum's price kind of going sideways for the past few weeks, several weeks in fact. However, the exchange ETH reserve has been going down. If the exchange reserve continues to go down, which means that there's less ETH being held on exchanges, which means theoretically more ETH in wallets, so less people selling and more people holding Ethereum, that's a pretty good sign that at some point price might turn around because demand is there and supply is decreasing. At least circulating supply is decreasing. So that's what led me to look at something similar as what we did with ETH. I wanted to look at the exchange reserve on USDC. If I were to swap my base trades, my SOL or ETH for USDC right now, exchange pretty low right now. So there's really, there's kind of not much USDC being held by exchanges. So it's out in the wild being held by potentially wallets. So this time last year, 2021, we're under that level by a little bit, but if you see this line, that's just about pretty much where on the 16th, where the exchange amount of USDC was at. So on the 17th, it was right on that line. So we're under that, which is interesting because you see this huge sell-off occur on USDC re-entering into exchange reserves. So USD being traded back onto exchanges for another base coin, quite possibly. And we're at the cusp of this happening here. So clearly different cycle, but this is just something to note. So before you swap your SOL or ETH, these are the kinds of things that I'd be looking at. Let's look at Tether. So Tether, another interesting comparison here is while USDC has been going down on exchange reserve, Tether's exchange reserve is going up. Recently, Tether had announced that they're going to be doing monthly reports rather than quarterly. So recently, Tether also announced that they're committed to completely wiping out their commercial paper reserve, completely converting that into digital. That was an interesting announcement because that comes after Tether being accused of holding over 85% commercial paper holding in Chinese currency. This is a pretty interesting comparative between USDT and USDC. It could be telling me a few things. As of late, USDT was the more preferred exchange method, or that USDC and other platforms are gaining popularity. All right, first we had Nitro, now we have Eclipse getting a $15 million seed round for its layer 2 construction. Infrastructure on Solana continues to grow. This is going to be extremely, extremely dangerous in a good way for the rest of the crypto market if Solana can expand their community reach. With layer 2s, we see with Ethereum how effective those layer 2s have been in expanding its reach. So depending on how layer 2 scaling works with Solana, we see how popular already Solana products are with NFTs and how popular Solana users can be on social media. And we see that reflected in the popularity of NFTs on platforms like NFT Inspect. So the coming of layer 2s to Solana is extremely bullish in my opinion. So zeroing in for a little bit on Solana, this is incredible because right now, year to date, Solana's down 80%. 30-day mark down nearly 20%, and a 14-day just about over 7%. So as of recent, Solana's been pushing well above 5% negative. This is an interesting position to be in right now in the crypto market. Although the Solana price is $30, it held $30 the past few months now, probably pretty well. So you see an all-time high. We're actually closer to 90% down on off the all-time high across 11 months. Averaging out, we're still 6,000% up from the all-time low 2 years ago on Solana. So you see here Solana currently at an $11 billion market cap. At one time, things like SafeMoon were double-digit billion market cap. That being said, though, it's possible that we do actually see low 20s for Solana coming up. We did project that about a month ago to happen earlier in September, but that could be getting delayed here and actually coming to fruition at the moment. But at some point, these prices and these lows are getting so extreme that there really couldn't be a better opportunity for entry as of late. This article real quick, I thought was interesting on Benzinga. So it was looking at coming off the CPI report, Shiba Inu is being sold off in for preference of Doge. Current calling price on this article was 509. I said it repeatedly, right? If Shiba gets into that 509 territory, you're gonna see an immediate bounce back, and it did. So Shiba took back that zero. We're back at 10 something. However, I don't know if that support will hold though, with the really bearish sentiment running wild in the market right now. So next few months could be more downside, and that will play out really well into the early 2023 pump. NFTs are the clear demonstrator of the quality of a blockchain at the moment. It's both a service and a product. It also gives users a glimpse of the quality of community. Solana consistently coming in at number 2 here. On the all-time, under 2 Ethereum products running on Ethereum. So technically Solana coming in second, but third here on the all-time. 30-day, second, 7-day, second, 24-hour second. So looking at the 30-day, it's up almost 10,000% on buyers, just over 40% on transactions at 2.4 million. And if you look at the transaction amount here versus Ethereum, while Ethereum's consistently a really high price, so this is a little bit of a caveat, because obviously when Solana raises in price, these transaction amounts will head down. However, if you look at it just at the moment as a snapshot, this is nearly 3x the amount of transactions that have been occurring over the last 30 days on Solana. So if Solana can retain even half the amount of transactions as it does now when it gets closer to its all-time high, that'll be incredible. That'll be a lot of money flowing around in Solana. And as Solana continues to develop, it'll continue to expand its reach, and that will be pretty amazing. And we see that Solana does continue to build, right? Second highest on daily issuance, so amount of money paid into protocol development. Solana consistently number 2 behind Bitcoin. Pretty far cry, 17 million difference, but nonetheless, pretty far cry also from third place. I do think that this Cardano number is a little deflated here. I do think that there's a lot more development money being put into Cardano. I think the way the protocol is built and Cardano's quality of decentralization, I think it's a little hard to get aggregated reads on Cardano. Solana is definitely a clear number 2 to Bitcoin as far as issuance protocol development goes. There you have it. Thanks for watching. Glad to be back. See you on the next one. Thank you.
Coming up only to show you wrong, and to know you is hard, and we wonder to know you all wrong, we wonder. Coming up only to show you down for, and coming up